What's going on YouTube? It's Lieutenant Cade, also known as Alvin the Director, and today I'm going to talk to you about the ACFT. So in my last video, I talked about my views on the new Army Combat Fitness Test, and also told you I was going to do a series of videos explaining the exercises and talking about what you can do to best prep for the new Army Combat Fitness Test. So let's go ahead and get into it. With the new fitness test, the Army's intent is to do exercises that will kind of translate into what you actually do in the work environment. Now, with the old PT test, it was just push-ups, sit-ups, and a 2-mile run. This PT test is a little bit longer. However, they're exercises that, in my opinion, benefit you a lot more with actually what you do in your actual job. With that being said, the 3-rep maximum deadlift is, to me, one of the most important events in the ACFT, and it's also the first event in the ACFT. The deadlift is extremely important, and it can result in a lot of injuries if done incorrectly. The technical significance of the deadlift is, lifting heavy objects off the ground. Depending on your MOS, I don't know what kind of equipment you'll be dealing with, but with us, we have a lot of heavy signal equipment that we have to lift off the ground, and you want to make sure you're doing it the right way. It can also help with, picking up a battle buddy, in the battlefield, and it really does a good job of testing just your overall raw strength. With the deadlift, there are many ways that you can get a lot of practice with it, and I'm big on focusing on low weight, high volume. So for me, I'm one of the heavier lifters, but I still like to focus on just the basics. If you've been following my YouTube channel for a while, last year I had an injury where I hurt my lower back, and since then I've just been focusing on just doing everything the right way, focusing on technique, focusing on mobility. And with the deadlift, it's a movement that you can easily get hurt if you're doing it the wrong way. So typically what I like to do in my PT plan and what I get my soldiers to do is we'll put on usually the minimum weight, which is 140 pounds, and we'll just lift that for volume. We'll do like 2 to 3 sets usually at PT, along with other things, of course, where we're just focusing on just lifting the deadlift bar, the hex bar, 10 reps, and then 3 sets. We'll break that up, and we'll do a bunch of other exercises as well. If you don't have a deadlift at your disposal, and you don't have access to like a gym or anything like that, and you want to get better at the deadlift, then there are other things that you can also do to focus on just building up that strength, especially if you're not there yet. So what I like to tell people to do is lunges. Lunges are huge with just developing your legs, and that's the main thing that you'll be using in the deadlift. So you can do weighted lunges. That helps out a lot. If you can find access to like a bumper plate, you can always hold it above your head and then do lunges. Also, wall sits are really good. You don't need any equipment for that. Air squats is also a big thing. And again, focusing on mobility and focusing on the technique. Water jug carries are really good as well. You can lunge with them, or you can just do carries, because you'll also be focusing on grip strength when you're doing the actual deadlift. When you start getting into higher weights or towards your max, you can notice that your hands will start to slip and the bar might, kind of canter. And you don't want to do that with the deadlift. So grip strength is extremely important as well with focusing on that deadlift and getting better at it. With this exercise, there are 3 different movements. With the preparatory phase, you want to make sure that your feet are about shoulder width apart, and you also have a good grip on the hex bar. So you're going to get down into position, make sure your chest is up, you're looking straight ahead, and then you will execute 3 deadlifts. Now let's talk about the warm-up a little bit. You're gonna have 10 minutes to warm up after the prep drill to get whatever weight that you want on the deadlift bar. Now, during this time, it's extremely important to make sure that you're warm, your body is good to go for the deadlift, and you really wanna focus on what you can actually do for the deadlift. So say, for instance, my max is 200 pounds, right? And I don't know if I can get 200 pounds. I'm not, 100% comfortable with it, but I feel like I can get 200 pounds. My preference would be for your first attempt, because you're allowed 2 attempts for the deadlift, is put on like 180, right, for your first attempt. Make sure that you can actually get it, because you don't want to end up failing your first attempt and then, stressing yourself out on that second attempt on whether or not you can actually get that weight up, right? So get some kind of weight on the bar that you actually feel comfortable with doing, and for a fact that you won't take that first attempt. The better you are at the deadlift, it can also translate into helping you out with like the sprint direct carry whenever you're doing the kettlebell run, and also with the sled drag. The better you are at deadlift, it typically translates into being able to, pull those heavier objects or carry a heavier load whenever you're doing other events. So the deadlift to me is extremely important. And again, it's the first event of the ACFT, so you want to make sure that you do pretty good at it. If you have any other questions about the deadlift, leave them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. And I'm gonna continue to put out these series of videos. We're gonna talk about the standing power throw in the next video. All right, so stay tuned for that one. If you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also share this video with a friend. I'm Alvin the Director, and I'm out.